Hi, I'm Rebecca Rosen, a spiritual medium and best-selling author. For almost 25 years, I've been serving as a messenger for spirit and helping people strengthen their own intuition. Join me as we continue to explore, heal, and ascend through episodes centered around your questions, channelings from spirit, and powerful conversations with my friends and colleagues. I am so excited to be talking to you. And MaryAnn is one of the best intuitives, mediums, definitely one of the best teachers I've ever met. And you have helped me personally so much. And the times we've worked together, like you've helped my audience. So I was just really excited to bring you back on and to have this conversation, everything around intuition. So welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I love you. You know I love you. I'll gush. I'll just keep gushing if I continue on, but I'm always bragging about you because
Aw.
you're so, I always tell everybody, it's weird in this community to find inclusive people who are like, hey, let's talk to each other. Let's help each other along. And you're the best. And you have helped me tremendously. So right
Ah,
back at you.
well, likewise. I love it. Yeah, I agree. I'm always cautious of any type of intuitive that's competitive because, right? Because that's so of our ego and the lower self. There's enough room for all of us.
Oh,
We all
plenty.
attract, yeah, we all
Mhm.
attract our people, the people who need us, and we're going to be drawn to different clients and different clients to us. So there is no
Mhm.
competition. But I appreciate that about you as well. And what I love about you so much is that you, like me, we try and empower people to, in a sense, put us out of business. Like you don't need us to answer your everyday questions. We all have intuition. We all have a connection. And so, I know one of your big platforms is to teach people how to do this for themselves.
Absolutely. Couple of things. I really find that people are so wholeheartedly wanting to grasp that they can do this, that they're really trying to figure it out. And for whatever reason, it does take this conversation to continue on to kind of get it through to them that you can do this. I do feel like people are really yearning to understand this wholeheartedly. I don't know about you, but my conversations with clients and the people that I meet who are just awakening to their own spirituality within, I think they're still finding it surprising that, yeah, you don't need to sit with people like ourselves to be able to hear your guidance, hear your loved ones, know that they are with you, tap into your inner knowing and your higher self to help you take action in your life and find your guidance. It's been a joy to teach people that, a real joy.
Right, right. I mean, what I always like to remind people of is we're all born with that sixth sense. We all have intuition. Okay.
Hmm.
It's in that sense, it's not a gift. Okay. It's
Right.
just a part of our innate wiring. But what I really believe is it's about getting out of the conditioning, I think that's been placed on so many of us and the false beliefs that we adopted in childhood that, caused us to disconnect from that innate knowing and coming back to that place of trust
Hmm.
and right? And
Oh
just
yes, yeah.
allowing.
Allowing, receiving, not reaching, knowing that the we are part of the light, that this is something that we are all born with. And yes, we were taught to forget it. And so how do we then get ourselves to a space of trust? People ask me all the time, how do I begin? How do I know that I'm not making it up? How do I know, all the questions that we always hear? And I say, it's trust. It always starts with trust in your knowing that
Yeah.
something is leading you down this path. And if you just allow yourself to receive the information and open yourself up to the idea and the belief system that you yourself are capable of making these types of connections, it's endless. You could just keep going and going and
Right.
learn and learn. It's great.
It is. And in theory, it sounds so simple, but I think people overthink it. So what
Hmm.
would you suggest, to help people get out of their own way so that they can open that doorway and allow it? And then how do people know that it's real, that they're right? What they're receiving is divine guidance and not coming from their mind.
Well, I think we have to discern the difference first between what is your mind and what is spirit coming through. And your mind is going to speak of fear. It's going to speak of doubt. Your ego is going to be in there. It's going to tell you, you can't do this. And that's really what the ego is trying to say to you. It's trying to protect you and saying, oh, you're making it up. You can learn to get curious with that and understand why those feelings are coming up for you and have spirit take you on that journey. For me, I find that now you're co-creating. Now you're really understanding parts of yourself that you need to understand. And spirit is assisting you in the storyline and taking you on these contracts that we've signed up for. And all of a sudden, there's the growth. It starts to grow all on its own. And then you realize the difference because you can hear the difference between those two voices very, very clearly. It takes practice. It takes consistency. We go back to trust, belief, and we just keep telling ourselves this over and over and over. And I feel that when we have that type of consistency, it undoes all of that nonsense that we were taught to forget about, all of the things that
Yeah.
we were taught to confine our beliefs, and we just open ourselves up. But it takes practice and it's not always easy.
Yeah, no, it's true. And we're all wired so differently. And so
Mhm.
we're going to receive the information differently. And for some of us, it just comes more naturally. So, what would you say to, I've had clients who have major OCD, anxiety, they deal with depression,
Mm.
and they've expressed that they have a hard time distinguishing between when it's their anxiety and fear and their mind talking versus their intuition because they're compromised in a sense.
They are compromised in a sense. And I think that we have to remember that there are worldly modalities here that can help you navigate that. And we can be led to therapies, uh, different techniques spiritually, yes, meditation, breathing techniques, everything to help you. When you learn about these tools, you incorporate them into your spiritual practice. You make them part of your daily routine, and that is incredibly helpful. We all have anxiety to some degree. Yes, sometimes it's spirit tapping into us, and we can learn the difference between energy and frequencies and who's speaking to us. But a lot of the time, that's hard to wrap our brains around, especially people who have been dealing with all types of different issues in their life. Again, we go back to lead me, take me, show me, and I'll
Right.
say yes. I mean, that's what I say to my guides when I'm in that type of way. I always tell them I might have a hard time discerning and be in fogginess and not know what my ego's doing or fear. And I have to lean into those spaces and say, okay, guides, source, show me.
Yeah.
Show me what I need to do. And then they speak to us through other people, through social media, through all of these areas. We can start to see these themes. What I love about what you said, though, is that we're all very different. And we have to be aware that we can make our practice any way that we want it to be. It is authentically and uniquely ours. I always tell people, I caution them, don't make it look like mine. Don't make it
Mhm.
look like somebody else's. Make it look like your own. And then those parts of yourself become super powerful. They become so powerful because they're true and they're authentic. And we're not trying to fight it. We're just trying to understand it.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And, I notice clients will ask me, like, what do I do on a daily basis? And I'm always happy to share. But what works for me may not work for everybody. So I always say, take what resonates and leave the rest and, cultivate your own daily practice. So do you mind sharing what your daily practice is to connect?
Sure, absolutely. I bring in the light every single morning. That is something that I do no matter what. Just like brushing my teeth, I allow that light to come through the body and I just get myself good and grounded. I love expressing gratitude in the morning as well. I think it sets the frequency for the day. So that's a typical routine. When I'm reading people or I'm trying to channel even for self, it really depends on my day. It depends on the energy that I'm reading, the person that I'm reading, my pre practice. I might sage, I might just sit in silence, I might start to write a little bit. I love taking walks. I like going to the gym. Those are ways that I release energy. At the end of the night, I always do an energy release of the day. Even if I didn't read people for the day, I like to tell spirit, thanks for showing up for me today. Thanks for being around. Now, everybody, go to bed. Go,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
to where you belong.
I'm off
And
duty. Yep.
yeah, I'm off duty and I do a nice shutdown and a rooting technique that way. But depends on my mood too. Depends on my stress levels. I don't know about you, but do you change yours up? I do.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
There's days where I cannot sit and meditate for the life of me, and
Same.
so my guides are like, "All right, go for a walk around the block. Move your
Mhm.
body, moving meditation."
Yeah,
Right?
people don't realize that that is the guidance. that they set themselves up. I find a lot of people are setting themselves up for what they think it's supposed to look like. So if I'm not meditating 7 days a week and taking astral flight and, taking myself to all these different frequencies, vibrations, and constantly hearing my guides, then I'm doing it wrong. And in actuality, if you write out your spiritual schedule and maybe you had to take care of your kids all week and you fed them and you went food shopping and you had some doctor's appointments that you needed to go to for yourself, that's incredibly spiritual. It's a huge spiritual part of yourself that you are a nurturer, that
Mhm.
you are a parent, you're mothering, you're fathering, that you knew enough to engage in self-care for the week to get yourself to your doctors and what you needed to do. So I've been telling people a lot that it can change, and don't worry that you didn't get to your meditation, or, you didn't do all of your writings or pull your cards. That week for you might have looked very different, and your perspective becomes a huge part of honoring your spiritual practice and not shaming yourself into thinking that you didn't do a good job that week. Listen to
I
them,
love
they'll show you.
Oh, yeah, I love that so much because my guides have been saying the last couple of years, self-care is number 1. Because
Mhm.
if you take care of yourself and manage your energy, then you're gonna be able to show up and offer your best work, right? For yourself
Yeah.
and for others. Um, you said something earlier and I loved it. Calling your energy back so that from the past, call it back from the present or from the future, calling your energy back from other people,
Mm.
from
Mhm.
situations, right? I just created a whole meditation series on calling
Mm.
your energy back
Ooh,
because,
that's gonna be a good one.
right? So
Yeah.
I have one for the morning and one for the evening. And
Mhm.
if anybody who's listening to this is interested, I have a free meditation on my website that's a general calling your energy back practice. But the reason I created that is because you cannot be intuitive if you're not present.
Mm.
The point of power is in the now moment,
That's right. It's right here.
right? It's right here.
It's right within self, right within heart center. Maybe it's a little lower for some people. Maybe it's the solar plexus and it's in your gut, but your energy, your frequency, everything that you know to be true lies within. And
Right.
if you consider the fact that you're outputting all day long, all week long, we must remember to come back to self. We
Mhm.
always have to kind of come back to self and do that callback of your energy that you're talking about. It's so important. I think a lot of healers and psychic mediums don't do it. I find that to be a thing that I have to teach a lot. That spiritual, I call it good spiritual hygiene, to make sure that we're replenishing ourselves, that we are coming back to center, that we are creating balance within that center for ourselves as well, that we have to remember that all of that output, no matter who you are, even if you're not a psychic medium, maybe you're a caretaker, you're just a human being with a really busy schedule and you're always giving out, you must come back here, right here. It's a great reminder. I'm thrilled that you're putting that out.
Yeah. I mean, it's just for anyone. You don't have to be an intuitive or a
No.
medium, right?
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really important. I don't know about you, but I've noticed a lot of clients are saying they're having more intuitive experiences, more psychic phenomena happening because, as we know, that the energy on the planet is changing. It's
Oh yeah.
elevating. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so the veil is thinner between this world and the spirit world. So
Hmm.
again, you don't have to be a practicing psychic medium or intuitive to be receiving these constant downloads
Yeah.
available. And
They're
so
available.
they're available, right? Are you noticing
Hmm.
that? And a lot
Yes.
and I've had a lot of clients asking me like they're worried, they're concerned they open up to it could be dark, it could be negative. And
Mm,
so I
mhm.
just wondered if you wanted to speak a little bit to how to discern between light and dark and any
Mhm.
advice you have that would help people to stay connecting to the light.
I was just at Kripalu this weekend and we were talking about this. It's so important to there's a couple of things I want to say about that. First of all, whenever you're practicing intuitive abilities, psychic medium abilities, conscious prayer, whatever it is, whatever your practice looks like, we must always understand and be connected to the greater good, the most highest good of all concerned. That is where we are placing our frequency. And within that frequency, if you learn to place yourself there, and that means we're connecting with higher source, all that is good, all that is protective and loving. if we are working from that source, consider yourself highly protected, period. I don't even entertain the fact of lower level energy around me. It's not even, I've seen it, I've experienced it. For me, it's a hardcore no. And my guides know that. So that leads us into boundaries, making sure that you are very aware and that your guides and universe is hearing you and saying, show me this, don't show me that. Having said all of that, if your boundaries are in place and you're working from the greater good of all concerned, please expect to still see heavier messages. That we must see dark in order to see the light. That is how the world works. Our interpretation and how we attach ourselves is incredibly important. We don't want to feed it fear. We want to try and understand it. Why is it showing up? Why am I seeing this in this moment? Because we must know that it has to be productive. We're being shown it for a reason if we are dwelling in the proper spaces, good boundaries, and greater good. This way, I'm never afraid. I know that if I'm seeing something that might have a heavier translation, I need to sit with it for a moment and allow myself to understand it in a positive and productive way.
I love
Period.
that.
Yeah.
Because it comes down to truth,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
and spirit will meet you where you're at and bring through what's in your highest and best good, what you need to know, but it doesn't always mean it's, sunshine and rainbows.
We're
You know,
not
s
always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes
no.
our lives are, they're going pretty bad. And I don't know about you. I do know you, but I know that I'm not always about the love and light feeling. Sometimes I'm like, this is a crappy day. I'm
Yeah.
having a bad moment. My vibration is low. Grief. If we're experiencing grief, that can get us there. Depression, all types of things, stress. So our energy can go there, can go to that lower vibration, but we're on this human form. We're in this human form on this human level, and so we must understand it. And that's when I call in my guides and I say, show me. Again, I'm always asking them, show me, where
Mhm.
do I need to be, what do I need to do, what can I do in this moment to understand this heavier side of self, or this heavier download. Why am I experiencing this?
Yeah.
I At my guides must be like, wow, she's really curious, because I'm always like, why?
Yeah.
Show me,
Right.
show me, show me. It's the only way to learn.
It is the only way to learn,
Yeah.
and it takes you out of victim, not what it's not why is this happening to me, but what is this here to teach me,
Right.
right? And how do I create
Exactly.
balance from this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to go and investigate my past to bring it in to understand my future. I'm all for it. I just don't, what I caution people about doing it though, is you don't have to relive it. You already did it. We're just trying to understand it. And so I go in from a very analytical, spiritual analytical view. I try to see what might be affecting me from the past, or what is it that I'm belaboring over that I can't seem to let go of. And what it boils down to is, and what I'm always reminded of, the solution is that we're co-creators in the universe. And the minute that that hits me in those moments, I'm reminded that my words are important, the energy that I carry is important, and I get to start co-creating a different vibe with my guides, and it works most of the time. I mean, I
Mm.
have to say it's
Yeah.
really cool stuff.
Well, I think it's really empowering when you recognize that you are the co-creator, the future is not set in stone, and so I know we work in a similar way in which we read timelines. We read
Yes.
where somebody's at, and we read potential timelines that they could evolve into or
Hmm.
not, and
Yeah.
there's multiple timelines.
Yes. Thank you for saying this.
Yeah,
This is so important. Yes, Rebecca.
speak to this, I love it.
Say it for the people in the back. Yeah, it's like we are such co-creators, and people always say to me, "Oh, if I saw you 5 years ago and this still didn't happen," or, "Well, what's your free will doing? Where are your thoughts?" We do have lots of different timelines going on at the same moment, in the same moment. We can merge them. We can take the best and of it, what's not serving us, and we can really understand it and continue to create new lines. I'm fascinated by this part of spirituality. I've been really working hard at it the last couple of years. You and I have discussed this, and I find it incredibly cool, very powerful. And I think we were talking about that veil being thin. These are manifesting times. Like,
Yes.
bring your A game.
That's right. And,
Yeah,
maybe we can talk about the quantum field a little bit. You
sure.
know, I think a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their head around time. as
Mm.
linear.
Mhm.
And so, do you want to talk a little bit about how we can tap into the quantum field, what it is, how we manifest with it?
Yeah, I started tapping in through dreams. I actually didn't realize that that's what they were showing me. I kept trying to understand why I was having repetitive dreams over and over and over again about scenarios that I thought I resolved. I really had to question what was going on here.
Uh-huh.
And then I sat in meditation and I heard, "You're seeing timelines. You're seeing timelines." So they really had to explain it to me. My mom taught me a little bit about it when I was younger. You know that there are different. We can leap time frames. The way I look at it now is, and what my guides have said to me is, time is obviously an illusion, and that we can tap into different storylines through meditation, dreams, writings. Allow yourself visions.
Hmm.
Allow yourself to go there, downloads. And in order to be superpower co creators, we can understand and take the best of those moments and apply them into your current space. So again, here we go. We go back into this area here. This is how I've done it. I don't know about yourself, but this
Hmm.
is kind of the style that they've given me. And I try not to do too much jumping or astral flight. I really prefer to do more receiving visually, because I feel like they know my contracts really well and they're accessing my higher self to understand them on a deeper level. And so it's become this interesting relationship,
Yeah.
this interesting orchestrated co-creation that's going on. But you have to understand that you are an active part in that,
Hmm.
and when you realize that, then you can truly understand why things are happening or why they're not happening, and you have to let go of time frames altogether and understand that it really boils down to just energy, and your energy is being processed through thought and feelings and what you're putting out there into the universe. I find it really cool. How do you do it? That's kind of
Yeah.
how I've broken it down. What
Wow.
about you?
Yeah. Like 100 questions just came up for me through just that. But okay. So, first of all, what my guides have taught me, okay, so the quantum field holds all future, past, present potentiality, right?
Yes, yes,
And we can tap into that. And so, if what my guides recently have been showing me, if I can conceive of a thought, if something comes to me, it means it's already available in the quantum field. But like you said, you can't just read it into being, you have to bring it into being. So you
yes.
have to take constructive steps. And, so there is a delicate balance between showing up and doing your part, meeting the universe halfway with clear intention, and then
Hmm.
surrendering and letting go, and then letting the quantum field and spirit bring you into it.
The
Right.
surrendering is huge. Thanks for bringing that part up. Yes, the surrendering has been, I always say, if you're manifesting and you're learning how to do this type of work, set it and forget it.
Yes.
Allow yourself, you've been shown what it is. And then I will say to spirit, I see what you're showing me. I see what was, I see what is, I see what could be. Show me that from the greatest good, the most highest good of all concern. Allow me to follow the path or start to walk through the path that will bring myself to my highest form as well. And that's that. And then you have to surrender over to it and believe that the universe will reveal what needs to be done. I spent a
Exactly.
lot of time chasing what needs to be done,
Mm,
thinking that I needed to be I really needed to be, that's the word I'm looking for. I didn't receive as much as I wanted to. I was really trying to chase it down and make things fit maybe where they
forcing.
didn't need to be, right, because I had this vision of what I thought it was supposed to look like. What I learned is I let go of the vision and I held on to the feeling, which is much better for me
So
because that
that's
way you can feel
exactly
yourself into the space. Yeah.
because exactly you got to let go of control. Like you said,
Hmm.
set it and forget it, set the intention. But what my guides have shown me how I do it is I get into head heart coherence. Okay.
Hmm.
So it's really about getting present and then feeling your way into the creation of whatever the desire is that you're trying to bring in, whatever the highest timeline is you're trying to go down.
Yep.
And so that's why for me, it works with meditation. So
Yes.
some days I'm walking and meditating, some days I'm sitting and meditating, some days I go to yoga and they say set an intention for your practice. I'm like, put me on the highest timeline, bring me into alignment with my highest self, highest timeline. And then
Yes.
through the movement, right, I'm moving out blocks and I'm trying to empty my vessel to get neutral, to get centered, to get present. And so, what my guides have talked a lot about is the feeling is really what we're after because, right, we have this electromagnetic field and that becomes our frequency, our vibration. And
Hmm.
so we need in, the law of attraction, we're going to attract whatever we're vibrating at. And so we
That's right.
want to get out of our heads, out of the limited thinking or false beliefs sometimes that, keep us on the lower timelines.
Yeah.
Um, or
Speak it
stuck.
into
Yeah.
existence. I've been working with speaking in the now as if it's already happening. Oh, and I've been bragging about you. We had a conversation a couple of months ago, and you said to me, "Oh, I was manifesting something," and you said, "And then some." And so have been adding on and then some to everything, and I speak things into existence, whether it's health, work, relationships, money, no matter what it is. I am talking about it, getting direct downloads from my guides are incredibly directive, they're pretty straightforward, and accessing what I know to be true, and then we get into this cool storyline together, and then I say, okay, I got it, and then I speak about it as if it is happening, just
Yes.
all the time, and then some. And then I always add
I
and then
love it.
some now.
Yeah. Well, so I love that. And then in this morning, call back your energy, I have an intention setting. And at the end, I say a prayer. So thank you for this or something more.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
sometimes it's bigger than our minds can conceive of.
So much bigger.
Hmm.
So much bigger. And what I've learned too is that go big with your guides. Just know that the universe is going to bring it to you in its best form. And it might not look like exactly what you were working on, but that is protection in itself. They are showing you a better way. And that type of surrender is a relief to me. I find
Hmm.
that super relaxing that I can kind of sit back and go, well, I guess they knew better here. So this
Yeah.
didn't happen, but boy, this did. And I didn't expect this. I didn't expect that and then some.
Exactly. I mean, it's so much fun. If you trust you are being divinely held and protected and guided, that you really do have this team spirit that has your back, right? They're in your corner.
Yes.
They're your win is their win. That's how this works.
Yes. That's
And
right.
and if we
That's
can
right.
really relax into that knowing, then life becomes magical. It becomes fun, right? We stop
Absolutely.
stressing and sweating the small stuff. And then we start seeing the miracles and synchronicities and the intuitive hits and downloads that are happening constantly
The
if we
universe
choose
loves
to
to
tap
show
in.
off if you choose it, because the universe loves to show off.
Mhm.
I'm always like, wow, you guys are just pulling out all the stops here. Even like I said, even when I'm in my darkest hours, even when I'm in my heaviest hours, I know that I am being shown, I am being loved, I am being protected, I am being guided if I choose to say yes, if I choose to see it that way. And I always choose yes, always. You have
Oh,
to. I think it sets you, that's where it puts you. We talked about how do you get there? How do you do this? Well, your frequency is set when you have that type of belief system, and you know that you can make it uniquely your own. You're good to go.
so what I would say, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, but that if people are listening to this and they really want to change that limiting wherever they're at, everything feels kind of stuck where
Mm,
they feel foggy, they don't trust their intuition.
yeah,
You can set the intention because energy follows intention. You can say a prayer to your guides, to the universe, right? And from just
absolutely.
that place of vulnerability and openness, the
Hmm.
universe will respond to help alleviate doubt and build their faith and trust by showing them it
Yes,
works.
and I will add, I totally agree with you, and I would add that maybe you're not stuck. Maybe you are at a pause and in a challenge. And if you understand that pause, even if you bring in your guides at this moment, in that I feel stuck, I feel paused, I feel like I'm hitting a brick wall moment, that when you bring your guides in and you say, I'm stuck, I'm not seeing, show me, then that even becomes a productive moment because pauses are powerful. What is it that I need to learn in this moment? What am I not seeing that could be seen, that should be seen? What do I not want to see at all, right? When you have your head in the sand on something. Again, we go back to getting curious helps us open more, learn more.
Mhm.
You can learn and be connected at the same time. You could do these things in tandem. And so my guides have been taking blocked away from me and have been saying, can we say challenged? That maybe this is a challenging point. I'm like, well, I'm going to have to edit my books then because I always say, this is just in the last couple of weeks. And I think it's because I'm working with the idea of, are we stuck or are we paused? Are we supposed to learn in this moment? Because I think then nothing's wasted.
Agreed.
No
I mean,
time.
as they
Yeah. No
say,
moment
there's
is wasted.
yeah, and there's
Mm.
power in the pause.
Always.
Always.
If we choose it.
Yes. Yes.
If we choose it.
So, do you experience ever hearing loved ones who died come through saying like they're just so frustrated with their living loved ones because they're not getting it, they're not seeing the signs, they're not receiving and honoring the
It depends
intuition?
on the yeah, it depends on the loved one. Sometimes their personalities are just that, where they're like, "What do I have to do to show you?" So yes, do I hear that? Absolutely. I think that we know, you and I both know, they're showing us a moment of their personality, and the way they communicate hopefully resonates with the sitter if that's how they're coming through, which should certainly resonate. But yeah, I think I'm starting to see more and more through readings, loved ones being like, "We're right. Can't you see us? Like we're right here." And hopefully people are waking up to that more and more. To me, I mean, we've been doing this work for so long. I mean, I just never have any doubt that they are there. But I think it's a hard concept for some people to wrap their heads around. I recently lost a friend of mine. I've been helping the family out, and it's for as long as they've known me, and for as many times as I've read them, it's still hard. Is he okay? Is he around us? Is he seeing us? And I just think that when they're physically gone, it's just a hard concept for them to grasp, for us to grasp here.
Right. I
Sometimes,
like to
that grief.
I know that grief can really separate us energetically because I like
Yeah,
to remind people whether you're in body or in spirit, we connect on the frequency of love,
that's right.
right? And,
Everything is love. Yes, everything is love.
and only love is real. So that love is
Only love
eternal.
is real. Only love is
Yes.
real. I've been on like a love thing too lately. You're tapping in. Yeah, only love is real. And watching my beautiful friend transition and helping him through transition, everything that we spoke about, everything that I heard from his guides and his loved ones while he was experiencing this moment in his from one life to the next was all about love, love of self, and finding peace within. And the experience was really profound. I could have read it a zillion times in other people, but to sit there and see a friend of mine just emanate this peacefulness, and he was an edgy guy,
Mhm.
emanate this peaceful and this love just coming out of him. It was really a profound lesson. And at the end, that's all that matters. Or no
Right.
matter what you're feeling, your heaviest feelings are usually stemming from love, anger, grief, all of that. The root of all of that is love.
Right. Because you
Hmm.
deeply care.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. So, our loved ones in spirit and our spirit guides, they never give up on us.
Mm-mm.
They don't judge us. They may have a sense of humor, like you said, and poke fun at us. I hear that
Yeah.
all the time.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's like the unconditional love from a parent to a child,
Yeah.
right? They are there.
Absolutely. Well, they
And
did it already.
yeah,
They
well,
know.
they know. And they're just
Mhm.
waiting patiently until you choose to get out of your own way
Mhm.
and really ask for and then receive the guidance, the
Yes.
signs they're sending,
Yes.
right? But I
Yes.
think so often, I think there's so many people who want to believe, but they're just skeptical because they have no proof. They need the evidence, right? Which
Do
is
you
why
think
you and I go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was going to say it's why you and I are evidential mediums. We
Yes.
bring through enough evidence to alleviate doubt, even if it's temporarily,
Mhm.
so that they build trust and then openness so the loved ones can start connecting
Oh,
directly.
yeah. 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 Do you think what I wanted to ask you was, sometimes I play around with this. Do you think that it's a fear of disappointment? that if someone really wants to hear from their loved ones, sometimes I wonder that maybe they'll be so disappointed if it's not true, or I wonder if they're protecting themselves in a way because, like you said, this is we're tapping into really the unknown, and there's it's hard. We can be as evidential as we want, but I always wonder sometime if there's a level of maybe protecting themselves from being disappointed as a sitter, thinking, I
Yeah.
don't know if I believe too much. What if it's not true? What if the signs stop and I
Yeah.
lose them
No,
all
I think
over
it's a
again? Yeah.
great and
Yeah.
valid point. I think it's that. I think it's sometimes if it is true, it's gonna threaten their entire belief system and
Ah,
what they've
yeah,
been
yeah.
taught and
That's
what
true.
they because
Yes.
there's a sense of control when
Mm-hmm.
you have created a narrative. This is how it is. But then
Yeah.
when that is challenged, it blows open your whole world.
Hopefully.
And that can feel really scary. I know, hopefully. Exactly.
Yeah, it could feel really
Well,
scary. It
hopefully.
can. It's true. I mean, most people who are coming to us, I think, have some level of connection, obviously. But
Yeah.
I've sat across from people who are hardcore skeptics, but something brought them to me. Something made them sit across, and hopefully, Spirit brings them that one phrase, that one memory, something that they just go, "Okay, there's no way. How did you
Right.
know that? How did you know that?" And that's just my hope. It's just my hope that they reach that moment because, oh gosh, I don't know about you. I mean I do, but I love the relationship that I have with my loved ones that have passed, and that we can
Mhm.
continue that relationship that's going on. I miss them dearly, of course, but I can tap in and do a meditation. I do meeting hours in heaven, and I just sit with them and like Sunday dinner, and I fill the room up, and it's a moment. It's a whole moment with them. So I
I-
encourage people to keep believing.
Yeah.
Ask for those signs.
Absolutely. Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah,
Love
for
it.
sure.
Well, this has been so enlightening. I always love talking to you about this. I know my audience has so many questions. And so, where can they find you? Because I know you love to work with people and empower them and teach them.
I do love to do that. You can find me at MaryAnnDiMarco.com, MaryAnn the Medium on Instagram, and all my information is right there and how you can work with me one on
And
one.
what's your latest book?
I medium mentor, but
Yes,
more to come.
I had a sense
And then some.
downloading. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I have
can't
another
wait.
book. Another book, hopefully 2025 will be a pub date. I just don't
I
have it
can't
yet.
wait.
Yeah, I'm
Well, I look
excited.
forward to you and I doing another event together. I think that would be really fun.
I'm obsessed with working with you. Guys,
Oh
I
my goodness.
fangirl over Rebecca. You have no idea.
Stop.
Like, I do. I do. You're
You're
my
so
girl.
funny.
I was
Well,
bragging about I'm always bragging.
I feel the
So
same
great.
about you. Yeah. I think we're a really good team because, every healer sees different layers. We tap into
Mhm.
different frequencies and you and I, there's no competition. We just complement. So I
No
love
way. Anytime,
it.
any day of the week. I want us on stage together. I think we should do a live somewhere.
Well, let's tap
Let's
into
do
the
it.
quantum field and manifest it.
Manifest it right now.
I love it. I love it. Well, it's so good to be with you. All right.
Oh,
We'll
thanks,
talk
Rebecca. Thanks for
again. All
having
right.
me.
So much love. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Small Medium at Large. For more information about my offerings and events, and for additional resources on your spiritual journey, please visit my website, RebeccaRosen.com. You can also follow me on social media by searching at Medium Rebecca Rosen on Facebook and Instagram. As always, I am wishing you brightest blessings and all love.